Good morning, Debbie. You'll have to unmute yourself. Are you able to talk to us, Debbie? You'll have to unmute. I cannot hear you. No, I still cannot hear you.
Looks like she's got a mic problem.
You go either go down the far left-hand corner and click on the microphone, a little arrow to the right of it, and go up and select which microphone that you need to use. You may have more than one microphone selection. Debbie has had a hard time getting all that working for some reason.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yeah. Okay. Yay!
So we got Debbie a Bluetooth speaker because she couldn't get headphones to work. So she's good to go now. I am recording this session because Janet couldn't make it, and she shares my presentations with a family member, I guess, that has a Mac. So I'm only doing 30-minute videos now because I didn't renew the subscription to Zoom for the unlimited time frame. So I started at 10 till, so by 10:30 it should automatically kill the session. We'll see if it does or does not. So what I'm going to try to cover today is going to be another session of Mac tips, which probably won't be of use to Mr. Wolf, but we'll see. There may be some things that are similar. So I'll go in to share the screen. I'm going to go ahead and share the desktop. And let's take this out of the way. And we'll bring up Keynote. And looks like that's up. Are you all able to see the Keynote?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So these are the second group of Mac tips that I put together. And maybe just for grins, we'll just go back and review real quickly the Mac tips that I did earlier. Just a quick review. Tip number one is how to rename files. If you selected multiple files that you wanted to rename and then you right click, you could go in and create a custom name, or you could change the format to different options there, change the starting numbers, etc. Tip number two is to use Shift Option and the volume key to make incremental changes in your volume control. Tip number three was to be able to use side-by-side window panes. So if you hold the Shift key with a mouse over the maximize icon up in the left corner, right up here, and you hold the Shift key while you click on that, and then you can add a second side-by-side window. And then you can hold the Command key while dragging the title bar to keep it in the background. Tip number four is a dictionary for words. If you held the mouse cursor over the word and typed Control Command D, you could get a dictionary. And of course, Spotlight Search is Command Spacebar. This is quite handy. We'll show you some more tricks with that. And this is one I talked about, and Ron Waksberg asked me about later on, and I couldn't remember. And that was how to use screen sharing by using Spotlight Search. And you simply type in screen sharings when you go to Spotlight Search, which you get by holding Command Spacebar. And then you put in their Apple ID and you can connect directly to them. Don't have to use TeamViewer. Tip number 7 was to be able to rearrange your menu bar icons by dragging them. Tip number 8 was to right-click the title bar in Finder to customize it. Tip 9 was to add shortcuts where none exist using the exact names, such as show all history has to be capitalized so exactly the way it shows in the menus. And then you can create a custom shortcut. And if you want to know what your Wi-Fi password is, you can use keychain access to locate those. But today's tips are, tip number 1 is to open Finder, select a file, and then use Command Y to open the file in Preview. Preview, of course, is a very powerful built-in function for viewing your files. It's built into Finder. And if you use Option, Command, and Y, it will open the file in the full screen preview. And if you use Command O, it will open the file in its default application. And if you're in the preview, you can escape to control it, to exit it, I'm sorry. So if I bring up Finder and I select a file in Finder and I hold down Command, Option, and Y, that file will open in full screen view. And once it's open, I want to return. I hit the Escape key and it will return. If I just open with Command Y, it will open in the Preview app in a small screen. I'm sorry, it will open it in a small screen, and then you have an option to open it with Preview. And of course, if you open that file with Command O, that's the open command, it will open it in Preview, which was the default application for that file. If I had a different file like February Mac Tips, which is a Keynote file, and I did Command O and opened that, it would open it in Keynote. Okay, so that's tip number 1.
Hey,
And-
Larry,
Yes.
is that opening up there with Command, Option, and Y, like just a shortcut if you're hunting for a picture?
No, that is if you know what the image is and you want to see what it looks like in full screen,
Okay.
then you would use Command Option Y, and that would open that file in full screen mode like that. But
Okay.
you have to select it first.
Okay.
Now, Finder has multiple views. So if you selected this view, you would see thumbnails, for example. This is the list view. And this button here allows you to preview the file over on the right-hand side so that you get a chance to see what they look like in the preview mode. And this one gives you information about the file, such as its resolution, if it's an image. And then, of course, you can group your files by name, kind, application, tags, etc. I usually keep mine in the list view.
Okay.
That's just my preference.
Okay. Thank you.
Tip number 2 was we can open a Finder, select a file, and then use Shift Command P to toggle the preview in the right pane. So if I open Finder, I select the file and I use Shift Command P. So that's Shift Command P. It will open it up to show you the preview. And if I hit Shift Command P again, it will change it. So that allows you to toggle the preview in the right pane. Tip number 3. This is to allow you to set up picture-in-picture mode while you are watching a YouTube video. And that way it will stay on the in front in the upper corner there. And you can watch your YouTube video while you do other things and open other apps and work on your computer. So you simply locate a YouTube video. So if I go into here, I go into YouTube and say I select a video. And let's turn that off. And then if I want to watch that, I will right click twice, right click once, right click twice. Well, why didn't that work? Hello, right click once, right click twice, picture in picture. There we go. So now we have, we can close this screen. Oh, if I close it, if I close that, I close the picture in picture. But you saw that the picture in picture showed up in the bottom right.
Yeah.
Tip number 4 is you can paste copy text without its formatting. So if I go into a web page and I copy some text out of some web page, I don't know, just trying to find something here to find a piece of text somewhere. So this is got a black background and a white screen. So if I Command C, I copy that and I open up text edit and I paste that, you see that it put some formatting in there, put a white background on it. And if I did not want to do that, I could use Shift Option and then Command V. So if I go down here and do Shift Option Command V, guess what? It didn't. That's probably because it's already got formatting on it. Let's close that. Let's open it back up. And now Shift Option Command V. And you see it's removed the formatting. So if you don't like that formatting when you copy it off of a web page, you can remove it with Shift Option Command V. And where are we? Tip number 4. Here's tip number 5. Now, I use this one all the time. Capture a full screen screenshot by using Shift Command 3. So when I do Shift Command 3, you might have heard the camera go off there, and it created let's go back over to Finder and we go to desktop. There's the screenshot that it just took. Okay. I'll move that one to the trash. But if I use Shift Command 4, Shift Command 4, I get a little target icon. which allows me to go in and select an area that I want to make a screenshot of. And when I release the left mouse button, it will create the screenshot. So again, if I go back to the desktop, there's what I just captured. If I use the Shift Command 4 spacebar and then select a window, so if I can capture an entire window. So I do that by Shift Command 4, and then I press the space bar. And now I can select a different window. And it shows me my pointer is changed into a camera icon. So as soon as I left click, I will save that entire window as a screenshot, like so. And as you see, it appears down here in the right-hand corner. I go into Finder and I go to the desktop, and there it is. Now, if I use Shift Command Spacebar and I hold the Option key, I can capture the window without the shadow effect, because this other item that I just showed you actually puts a shadow effect around the screenshot. If you don't want that, you can hold the Option key. If you use Shift Command 4 and you hold the space bar, you can move and resize the selection. So if I do Shift Command 4, hold the space bar, I can now move and resize the selection. Nope, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. Shift Command 4, Shift Command 4 space bar. And I think I have to keep holding the space bar. Is that right? I'm supposed to be able to hold the space bar to move the selection. Well, that doesn't seem to be working so well. I have to rethink that one. So let's remove those. And remove that one. So maybe that last one there is not a good option, or that one here. And Shift Command hold Option key to resize from the middle. You can try those. Tip number 6 is if you don't know how to spell a word. This is cool. I didn't know about this one. But if I bring up Text Edit and I don't know how to spell thesaurus, so I start typing T-H-E and then I'm lost. I don't know how to spell it. I can hold the F5 key down or press it once and release it. And now all of the, well, I guess thesaurus is not in there. Did I not spell that right? Alexa, how do you spell thesaurus?
Thesaurus is spelled T-H-E-S-A-U-R-U-S.
T-H-E-S F5. There we go.
Results.
Thank you. You can also ask the A girl. So now we have thesaurus. I guess I needed to know a little more about the spelling to get an initial start. So yeah, that's a handy little tip. This is another handy little tip. You can drag your printer icon from the system preferences to your desktop. And then if you want to print a file, you can just drag that file over to the icon on your desktop and it will print without asking you any questions. It will just send it off to the printer. So on my desktop, I have my Canon printer alias here, which I copied out of my system preferences. Nope, that's not system preferences. So if I go to printers, and if I just go up here and drag that to my desktop, that will create the alias that you see over here. Tip number 8. So if you open TextEdit and you right click, you can import from your iPhone or your iPad. So if I open TextEdit and I right click, I can import by taking a photo, or I can scan documents with either my iPhone or my iPad, since I have one of each. So if I wanted to take a photo with my iPad, I would click that. And over here on my iPad, I got a bunch of wires that it's looking at. Is that because my, all right, there I am. So all I have to do now I guess I just click that. Use that photo. And oh my God, there I am. I put that photo into a text document. And tip number 9.
Larry,
Yes, Debbie.
can you go back to number 8?
Number 8. Yes.
So to do that, that's only a live shot at the moment to bring it in, or can you go back into your listing of photos that you've taken before?
No, I don't know if scan documents might do that. Let's try that one. So let's open TextEdit. And then we'll right click and we'll import. We'll do a scan documents. Let's see what that does. Scan a document with Larry's iPad. So it says position on my iPad. It says position the document. So you're actually taking a picture. So assuming this was scanning a document, it still appears as if it's drag the corners to adjust. Whoops, hello. You can't see what I'm doing here, but I lost it. Where'd it go? Let's try it again. Yeah, it brought up the photos, so it really wasn't much different. I don't know what they meant, scan a document, but
Okay, thank you.
it looks to me like it just works with your camera. You could take a photo of your document, apparently. And tip number 9, if you have files on your desktop, you can organize them into stacks. So if you'll see on my desktop, I have some clutter that I've left out here. And if I open Finder and actually I'm going to right click on the desktop and select Use Stacks. And see what happened to everything over here. I didn't need to have that open. Right now, Use Stacks is selected. If I unselect it, see how all of my photos spread out? And if I use Stacks, they all get stacked together. So all of my presentations, because I had more than one on my desktop in Finder, they get stacked together. So if you go into Finder and you go to your desktop, these are all of the files that I have. My meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay. So another thing that somehow I might have missed, I'm going to go back to tip number 1. I wanted to show this because if I select an STL file, which is one of these, and I do Shift Command Y, Shift Command Y, was that it? No, I'm sorry, Option Command Y, Option Command Y. That brings that image up in full screen. And this is what's called an STL file. It's a stereolithography file that I use when I create 3D objects. And I have tons of these on my computer. And this allows me to preview those in a 3D rendering mode, which is, for me, very, very handy. Because I have tons of files, .stls, and they are a standard translated geometry file. So if I wanted to see what those files, I can do Command Y, and that's not full screen, but it's just regular screen. And so I can select any of these files and do Command Y to see what they look like. So that that is a very handy tip for me. And I think that was the last one was we talked about stacks. And that was the last tip that I had put together. And so with that, I'm going to go unshare my screen, stop sharing. And I will show you maybe, let's take this background off for a minute. Choose virtual background. Let's turn that off so you can see. That file that I showed you a moment ago, this is what it portrayed as a water bottle holder for Zephyrhills water bottles. And so I 3D printed those. And then I soaked them for 2 hours in an acetone bath. And that creates this smooth surface image and takes the little ripples that are in it from the 3D print, takes it out.
I think that's amazing.
I've printed up a lot of these water bottle holders. I hate these thin, flimsy Zephyrhills water bottles. When you try to take the cap off,
Yeah, it explodes.
the water just goes everywhere. So I designed this 3D water bottle holder back in 2015, and Marilyn had a red one, and hers broke. It separated, and I glued it once before, and it broke again. So I tried to find the file, which was I had to use my disk image. What do we call that, Debbie? Disk image maker. Let's try it. Disk image. No, disk catalog maker. So disk catalog maker. Clear everything out. And I was able to search for water bottle. And I think it was actually 16.9 ounce was probably a better option to search for. And there it was. Here was all the files that I had done, because I did quite a few of them. And so these were all of the files scattered out all over my different disk drives. So I've got them over here. This shows me which disk drives that the files can be found on.
We can't see it.
Oh, of course you can't, because I wasn't sharing my screen. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
So there was all of the files that the disk catalog maker file program found. And you can create different catalogs. This just happened to be one that I've kept over the years. Every disk drive that I've had since 1998 has been scanned into disk catalog maker. And so if I'm looking for a file, this is where I go to try to locate which drive it's on. So as you can see, I've got a 2 terabyte Seagate drive, a 3 terabyte drive, a 1 terabyte drive, another terabyte drive. This one here, Free Agent Brown, that one goes back to 2013. Here's some 2011. I should have some go back further than that, probably in another catalog. So
Wow.
that is a handy program.
Yeah. Hey, Larry, can I ask you a topic off point?
Sure.
How would we get those beautiful backdrops like you have when you're doing your Zoom?
You go down to the left corner and go to where it says video and right click on, or click on the down arrow, and you can select a virtual background.
Okay.
And so I think Ron has jumped off of here.
I'm here.
No, the other Ron Wolf. I got 3 of you left. I thought I was, I hope I am sharing. I hope I'm recording.
Yeah, the little red dot up in the left corner is blinking.
I got a red dot blinking because
Yeah.
I don't see it here. Let me,
It's way above your screen.
See my arrow?
see your arrow. Yeah, well,
I'm by the watercolor. Go all the way to the left and up real high in the upper left-hand corner. Keep coming, keep coming. No, not down, up.
I don't see
You
it.
have less than a minute left.
Yep, I see that's up less than a minute left. I still don't see where the
Recording is to the left of that.
Oh, it's to
Recording
the,
is
well,
left of less than a minute.
guess what? Mine is not showing it. I don't know
It's
why.
up at the top where it says less than a minute. And then to the left of that, it says recording.
Goodbye.
There we
Okay.
go. Pause or stop recording. All right, we're going to end here in less than a minute. I'm going to go ahead